So, Tom Watson, former Labour deputy leader and MP for West Bromwich East from 2001 to November 2019, a man who stepped down for reasons we'll get to in a moment, but also quit as deputy leader for other reasons we'll get to in a moment, has at the very first opportunity decided to take shots at Labour for some of the positions it holds and the way it behaved during the general election. Now, we knew he was going to step down and walk away before the election happened, so he had a chance to step back and watch and enjoy his retirement at 52, although I'm sure he won't be retiring at all. He has said in a recent interview with Weekend magazine that he left Parliament because of the brutality and hostility, something experienced on both sides with how they approach certain key issues. I'm sure Brexit was one of them. But also he blames Labour for their poor organisation and messaging for the party's disastrous general election result. He has taken the opportunity to condemn Jeremy Corbyn's advisers and to say to Labour that the next generation of leaders must address whether they actually want power when they begin to rebuild the party. He also said during the leadership election of 2016 that he voted for Owen Smith. Okay, you take your shots. It should be noted, as it is rather interesting, that the West Bromwich East seat has been a safe Labour seat, well, for a long time. Labour has always held that seat. That is until 2019 when they lost it to the Conservatives for the very first time. I'm not going to take shots at Watson for his positions on this. I think my history of commenting on this guy is enough to deal with what I think he has done and what he thinks and what he says. Many of Jeremy Corbyn's critics have identified his unpopularity as a key factor in the election result, but many in the party say the defeat was because of the difficulties over Labour's Brexit position and not strategic errors or the leader. Press X to doubt. So far, by the way, only 2 Labour MPs have formally declared their intention to run for leader, Emily Thornberry and Clive Lewis. But we're still expecting Keir Starmer, Rebecca Long-Bailey, Lisa Nandy, David Lammy and Yvette Cooper, possibly. Now, during the interview for the Weekend magazine, Watson said, does the Labour Party in its current form actually want power? The ultimate betrayal of working class people is not to take power when you can. And if you are a party that believes in power through elections, then that requires pragmatism, prioritization, compromise and collaboration. He's right. It was obvious from the offset Labour did not want to win. They kept saying for years that Corbyn was the Prime Minister in waiting after he came very close to winning in 2017. However, he didn't capitalise on it. And even during that election, he didn't say what his position was. A key fault of this particular leader is that then when he did put a position out there, it was more centrist than a YouTube skeptic, and then fobbed off as the correct position to hold, which is incorrect. The country would vote for somebody if they said, I will do this, I will do that, not, I'm just going to sit over there and you guys can work this out. Another thing of interest is that Tom Watson was never selected as deputy leader like the leader was. He is chosen in a different method, and because of that he is at odds quite often with Jeremy Corbyn, or was at odds with Jeremy Corbyn quite often. Many wanting, wishing, praying and craving that he be removed from his position because he wasn't as far left as the rest of them, which led to many sending some rather unfortunate threats in his direction of the dead kind, something which he did not know about until the police informed him that Labour supporters were being arrested for making those threats via the party, his own no less, that the Labour officials themselves did not bother to inform him about. When he says he's stepping down for the sake of his family, I can then, in that moment, understand why he would choose his family over his job. And he's right to do that. I still think he should apologise formally for the Nick Cannon stuff, but we'll see what happens in the future if any inquest takes place. He did criticise, by the way, Jeremy Corbyn's handling over anti-Semitism, as well as what many dubbed a convoluted election offering. And let's all face it, the 2019 general election for the Labour Party was a rehashing of the 2017 general election policy, but this time costed. And this time, well, they didn't have a Brexit stance again. They still didn't have one. He bothered to follow all those people that said, we should have another general election, and then we should campaign against the deal we negotiate, because the EU totally won't bend us over and give us a really bad deal knowing that we're going to campaign against. Idiots. Enjoy retirement, Tom, for as long as it lasts before you're going down to the job centre.